Everyone, welcome back. Merry Christmas first of all. Hope you guys enjoyed your holidays. Today we are doing a light conversion install on the Z. As you can see, it is almost done wrapping up here, but I'm going to walk you guys through the process and what we have to do to get to this stage. Welcome back to another week. I'm Justus and I. Let's get into it. So let's start it off. So over here, as you guys can see, are our old headlights. Now I talked about doing this retrofit a long time ago. As you can see, it is a old style halogen, one connector, one bulb. It uses a kind of a flip style to activate brights. There's our connector to 6-pin. Now the big thing for me here is that these are HID xenons, or HID slash xenons. So these are the newer style or the upgraded style that you can get in the 04s. As you can see, it has two bulbs, one halogen for the brights and then an HID xenon for the low beams. This was a bit of a challenge to get all this wired up correctly because we originally bought Concept Z adapters, but they did not work. The pin layout, or basically the run out of the wires, was incorrect. So I'm going to walk through on the other headlight that's not in the car right now what we had to depin and repin on the connectors to match everything up from the 6-pin to the 8-pin, and what wires we had to connect on the 8-pin to make it work with the 6-pin connector. This is the Concept Z adapter. As you can see, super nice, actually really well done, but it did not work for us. On this end, you can see we have taken off the actual 6-pin coupler. On this end, it still has the 8-pin adapter. So what in theory this was supposed to do is, on this end with the connector off of it, plug into the 6-pin, and then this was going to bust it out to an 8-pin to connect. Somewhere in here, the wiring diagram, or however it's wired, is wrong. Now, it's not wrong for every application. I'm sure probably for OEM to OEM, this is a perfect solution. However, we're going from OEM or aftermarket to aftermarket, and we're going from OEM to aftermarket on the actual harness. So, on the actual light here, which I'm going to show you guys if I can, this is our aftermarket headlight. It worked out pretty good, but as you can see here, we had to connect the grounds on our low and high beam to go into one, so it would work with the 6-pin connector there. And then for our turn signal and sorry, not our turn signal, but our parking light and side light, we had to connect power down here as well to get the 8-pin down to the 6-pin. But with all those modifications, you should get source power to every single light. It works with the normal controls, and you don't have a mismatch of wiring. It's a bit hard to explain this because everyone's car is going to be a little bit different. But when we're looking at this, it usually reads 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. However, the diagram that I used, we were reading from the harness. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Basically, what we ended up doing is mimicking the actual harness pin pattern into this connector, which is what you want to do obviously if you just want to connect something. But doing that from scratch was a bit difficult. It's easy to pop these in and out, but coming from a harness that was not the correct harness, even though this was fantastic and I know it's worked probably for many people, didn't seem to work for me. So when we converted over, like I said, right here we have two grounds that we had to boost together basically, or connect. We used these built-in solderless, I suppose, connectors that have shrink wrap around them. Awesome, fantastic use of them. We just connected the ground from our ballast to the ground of our cable here, which goes into our high beam. The only reason we had to do that is because on the 6-pin, there aren't two grounds for the high and low beam. On the 8-pin, there is a low beam ground and a high beam ground. That's why you get 8 pins. There's more connections going on. On the 6-pin, the high and low beam grounds are one connector. So we spliced in, connected both the ground to the high and low beams on the new headlights, then put that 1 pin into our 6-pin connector, allowing us to mimic the 6-pin connection. That's what's allowing us to convert from the single light halogen to the HID and halogen light bulbs or headlights. To go a little bit deeper on this connection over here, this isn't as much as a ground solution here. This is just connecting the the new side marker light, which we have. Actually, let me show you up here. And it isn't so much of a huge necessity to the actual working of the light. All I did was connect our light that we have up here now in our side marker to the new parking light down here, which our old lights did not have. If we go over here and look at this, the old lights only had these 3 LEDs and only needed one connector for the parking slash side marker lights. Now we have 2 lights, we had to connect both powers to that, fixing that solution. that is all we had to do to get these headlights to work. Again, these are OEM style aftermarkets, so maybe the OEMs 8-pin are a little bit more simple, and they work more like they should, but we have to D-pin them, reconnect them. So we're gonna toss these in there, and hopefully they're gonna look good. I can already tell these are gonna look good. Going from aftermarket to back to OEM, most people are gonna be like, why? The rears, as you guys know, are clears, so I wanted the fronts to match the rear, and I like the OEM design. And these aren't HR style, these are DE style. I wanted to keep period correct, and I think these look really good, even though HRs look fantastic. I want to make sure this car stands out in the same period that it came from, even if it's a few years difference. In conclusion for that, I'm gonna toss all this back together, hopefully get it done, and we'll show you guys the finished product. Alright, so we're back, it's day 2 of the install. As you can see here, we have everything wrapped up. The car is looking freaking fantastic in my opinion. I'm going to clarify some of the stuff I went over in the previous clips or yesterday about how to get this all to work. Again, this is a 6 to 8 pin conversion, not a 8 to 6. So this was a base, it's a halogen model to a HID xenon headlight. Again, I'm going to go over some small features and recap what we had to do here. So we had to connect 2 grounds together for the headlamp high and low to get 2 pins down to 1 pin, and then we had to connect the side marker and the parking lamp power cable together to get it down from, again, 8 to 6 pins. It deletes 2 of the pins, allowing us to run a factory connector of a 6-pin into the 6-pin harness on the base models. Now, first off, this looks fantastic. I just want to talk about that. Oh god, the OEM lights look so good, and it turned out very well. This is a pretty easy install you could do at your house. A lot of people are probably going to ask which light or which pin I need to run to each spot in the connector. I can't just say for a fact this is how you do it, because every car is going to be different. The harness side I can tell you will be the same, but each headlight that you use, unless it's OEM, is going to be a little bit different of a run out. I will throw up a diagram really fast right here. This is from the harness, not from the headlight connector. So when you're running your pins, you want to correspond them to the way they're going to plug into the car's harness, not the headlight harness. So if you're running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on this harness right here, that is going to be into the car. So you want to make sure your pins are facing in 1, 2, 3, not reading them from the pin 1, 2, 3, if that makes sense. I'm going to show you guys real quick how this looks. I don't think I have any old clips of it with the halogens, but it was not as bright. So let's get this started real quick. I'm going to throw on the parking lights first, and then I'll throw on the running lights. So here's the headlights on with the parking lights. You can see there's our 1 parking light right there, our side marker light, which again we have to connect for the power. Looks pretty good, and I will show you right now what the low beams or your just normal running lights look like. So there we go, those are powered on. As you can see, nice cool blue. That is the D2R or S bulb, I believe. That's a HID xenon. Very, very nice, super pretty. Gives the car a very nice, cool, light look. And actually provides visibility compared to the standard halogens. As you guys know, if you have a base, not very good with those lights. So overall, that was not a bad install. Looks very good, turned out easy. If you have a base Z, highly recommend you do this. If you have to D-pin your headlights, it's not that bad. There is a couple videos, I'm gonna link one in the description that showed me how to disassemble the connectors on here. Super easy. You pull out a lock, and then you pull locks back and push the pins down or pull them out. It's a very easy process. Just take your time, map out which cable leads to where, as in regards to the lights. So on here, if I had the power light to the HID low beams, I disconnected that, ran it into the new 6-pin plug, and just continue to do that for turn signals, for the high beams, and for the parking lights. It's not a hard process. You just have to be careful, trace each cable, figure out where it goes, and if you have to merge a couple like I did with the low and high beam, you can totally do it. Super simple. Solder them or use the quick connects like I did. It's a super easy process. This way you don't have to buy a harness adapter or completely change the wiring of your headlights to fit the plug. You just have to change the plugs. It does require a bit of cutting, a little bit of soldering, but it's not too bad if you just take your time, like I said, and look up what your car's layout is for the harness. It's totally doable. Again, fitment, 10 out of 10 on these headlights. These are not OEM, these are OEM style, but they fit really good. Tied up here on the fender. Hood line is pretty good. My bumper is a little pokey right here, but that's not, the headlight's fault. The bottom fitment, again, very nice and tight. And we put new plastic pins in here, so the sides of the bumper fit really good. The hood line looks nice. This side's probably the best. Super clean. Yeah, wasn't a bad install. If you're looking to do something like this for your base 350Z, I highly recommend it. The parts you'll need, I can link them down in the description below. The headlights themselves you can get on Amazon. They come with the turn signal, parking lights, but you'll have to buy high beam and a low beam, which I sourced as well from Amazon. The high beams are H7s. You can run whatever bulb you want. I'm running just halogen H7s, the Sylvania, whatever that brand is. I got them from AutoZone. They work great. As in regards to the HIDs, you have to get the ballasts. If your car doesn't have HID ballast, I'm assuming it doesn't since you're going from a halogen to a HID car, you're going to have to get those. I will link in the description below the ballast kit I got. They're HID ballasts and they come with the bulb. So it's this cool bright blue looking HID bulb. And it's all in one kit and you can toss it in there, get the ballasts mounted on the bottom and it's good. One thing I do recommend that you get though are going to be new OEM Nissan seals for the ballasts, because the ones that they ship with aren't super sealing and you don't want water getting in your headlight. Obviously you'll get condensation. So I'll link those all in the description below. Everything you'll need to do the transfer from the halogen to the HID. Around, I think it was like $300 to $350 for everything. And that includes headlights, bulbs, ballasts, and that's it. You don't need an adapter. You can do this just by depinning the old connector from your halogen, putting the new coupler, and then running new cables into the connector to make it work. So that's all I got for you guys today. I'll get some more clips of this car at night with the lights on. It looks absolutely fantastic. Thank you for watching. If you have any more questions, please comment below. I'll try to answer them as best as I can. And I hope that the links below will help you source everything you need. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Justus and I. We'll see you guys in next week's video.